Have you ever seen a villain so broken, yet so powerful, you're torn between fearing him and feeling for him? That's what fans experienced when Shadow the Hedgehog made his long-awaited debut in the latest Sonic movie. But just when we thought his tragic story had ended, the post-credits scene flipped everything upside down. He's back, and what that means for Sonic Movie 4 might be even darker than before. Let's start from the beginning. The newest Sonic film just hit theaters, and fans were thrilled to see Team Sonic back in action. But this time, they weren't the only ones stealing the spotlight. Shadow, a name whispered with curiosity since the franchise began, finally made his grand entrance. And wow, it was intense. He wakes up after being asleep for 50 years, confused, angry, haunted by a past he can barely piece together. And what drives him? Pure revenge. Shadow becomes the film's primary antagonist, teaming up with Gerald Robotnik, Eggman's grandfather, in a desperate plan to unleash a terrifying weapon that could end the world. The root of their pain? A girl named Maria, Shadow's closest companion, whose tragic death left an emotional scar so deep it twisted both of them. They believed the world didn't deserve mercy. But then, Sonic, our blue blur, steps in. Using not just his speed, but his heart, Sonic reaches Shadow in a way no one else could. He reminds him that Maria wouldn't want destruction. She wanted peace. And in a heartbreaking turn, Shadow and Iva Robotnik sacrificed themselves, pushing the Eclipse cannon away from Earth, saving millions. It felt like a final goodbye. But then came the moment that had fans gasping. In the post-credit scene, Shadow isn't gone. He's alive, wounded, maybe changed, but very much alive. And he's not empty-handed. He picks up a glowing ring. What does it mean? A comeback? A new mission? Or something even more dangerous? That's not all. Amy Rose and Metal Sonic pop up during the credits too, planting more seeds for what's next. The stakes are getting higher. The world Sonic knows is changing fast. And Shadow, well, his story is just getting started. So the question now is, what role will he play next? Will he return with vengeance again? Will he protect the Earth in secret? Or could he turn into an unlikely hero? Whatever path he takes, one thing's clear. Shadow's return is about to shake everything up. Shadow's shocking survival in the post-credit scene opens up a world of possibilities for Sonic Movie 4. And let's be real, his return isn't just for show. It's a signal, a warning, a promise that his role in the next chapter will be much bigger and far more complex than anything we've seen before. But where exactly could this story go? Well, there are two very different paths Shadow might walk, and both are equally intense. Let's talk about the darker route, the one where Shadow continues as an antagonist. In the original Sonic games, Gerald Robotnik created Shadow using the alien DNA of Black Doom, the terrifying leader of the Black Arms. Now, while the film didn't dive into this just yet, it did plant the seeds. Shadow was found inside a meteor, not born in a lab, which already hints at an extraterrestrial origin. What if that meteor wasn't just a vessel, but a warning? The detonation of the Eclipse cannon could easily send a signal across the galaxy, one strong enough to reach Black Doom. If that happens, Doom could make his debut in Sonic 4, and a lonely, emotionally conflicted Shadow would be the perfect target. Imagine Doom showing up, claiming to have answers about Shadow's real origins, maybe even pretending to understand the pain of losing Maria. That kind of manipulation could pull Shadow right back onto a destructive path. And this time, he might be even more dangerous, driven by twisted truths and alien influence. It would raise the stakes for Sonic in ways we haven't seen yet. But what if Shadow goes the other way? In his final moment in the film, Shadow showed something he never had before: clarity. When Sonic reminded him of Maria's true wish, it wasn't vengeance or destruction. It was peace, kindness, hope. That realization changed everything for him. So maybe now, Shadow wants to honor her memory. And how would he do that? By becoming something else entirely, a protector. Not the type who takes credit or smiles for the camera, but a silent, brooding figure who watches from the shadows. He could become a secret guardian of Earth, stepping in only when the threat is too big, too dangerous, or too personal. With enemies like GUN and Metal Sonic possibly rising in power, Shadow's role could shift into that of an anti-hero, someone who doesn't follow orders but still saves the day when it truly matters. He might even find himself at odds with Sonic again, especially if Sonic chooses to team up with GUN, a group Shadow deeply distrusts. That clash would be emotional, fierce, and layered with personal history. So, what will it be? Will Shadow fall under Black Doom's spell, setting up an explosive showdown with Sonic as he spirals back into chaos? Or will he forge a new identity, shaped by Maria's memory, becoming the kind of hero the world never sees coming? Whatever happens, one thing is clear: Shadow isn't done yet. He's just getting started, and Sonic's next battle might not be about speed, but about trust, pain, and redemption. Beyond his role as a fighter, Shadow's journey in Sonic Movie 4 could take a more introspective turn. With so little revealed in the films about Sonic and Shadow's original world, there's a real chance chance that Shadow might evolve into something unexpected, a seeker of truth. In this possible scholar arc, Shadow could begin to question everything about who he is, where he came from, and why he exists. The meteor origin hinted at in Sonic 3 might be just the beginning. Driven by the fragments of memory left behind by Maria and Gerald Robotnik's experiments, Shadow could set out on a journey across Earth and maybe beyond to trace his roots. This exploration could become one of the film's most emotional threads, as Shadow searches for purpose in a world that barely understands him. This path could even lead to the discovery of Mobius, a world that has yet to be introduced in the movies but is central in the games. If Shadow stumbles upon Mobius, it could unlock a treasure trove of lore and open the door for other beloved Sonic characters to make their big screen debut. We could get glimpses of Big the Cat, Cream the Rabbit, or even Blaze the Cat. Shadow in this role wouldn't just be a fighter, he'd be a bridge, a connection between past and present, between Earth and Mobius, between what the characters know and what they've forgotten. That kind of growth would take him from cold and distant to wise and essential, reshaping how the team sees him and how he sees himself. But let's bring it back to action, because Sonic Movie 3 already teased a shift in Shadow's direction. After delivering a brutal fight that left Tom injured and nearly defeated Sonic, Shadow was finally stopped when Sonic channeled the Master Emerald's power. The battle escalated fast, moving from Earth to the Moon and ending with a desperate alliance. It was during this intense finale that Sonic finally reached Shadow, not with strength, but with words, reminding him that Maria's true legacy wasn't destruction, but compassion. That realization changed the outcome, as the two teamed up to defeat Robotnik and destroy the Eclipse cannon. Though they fought side by side in the end, Shadow didn't join the victory celebration. He disappeared once more, alone, still unsure of where he truly belonged, or what role he was meant to play in this new world. But Sonic Movie 4 could finally give fans the continuation they've been eagerly waiting for. What if Shadow comes back, not as a looming threat, but as a willing ally? Picture him living in Green Hills, not fully integrated into the community, but watching over it from the shadows, distant yet dependable. He wouldn't be the life of the party or the one cracking jokes. Instead, he'd be the calm, silent strategist, the one who doesn't say much but always understands the bigger picture and what's at stake. Shadow could evolve into the team's quiet anchor, the voice of reason when emotions boil over, and the one who acts when others hesitate, a battle-hardened warrior who's seen too much darkness to be naive, yet still chooses to protect instead of destroy. That kind of transformation, from a misunderstood villain to a quietly noble hero, would be one of the most meaningful and satisfying arcs the entire series could offer. It would also excitingly enrich the team dynamic, balancing Sonic's heart, Tails' brilliant intellect, Knuckles' brute strength, and Shadow's cold, calculating logic and experience. With so many possible directions, it's clear that Shadow's future in the Sonic film universe is wide open and full of potential. Scholar, ally, secret guardian, anti-hero, no matter which path he takes, one thing is certain: Shadow is about to change everything. If you're hyped to see where Shadow's story goes next, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and tell us your theory. Will Shadow become a hero or fall back into darkness?